Away from the eyes of the world, the conflict in Sudan continues to rage. Conservative estimates put the death toll at more than 10,000. With grave violations of international human rights and humanitarian law, and according to the United Nations, it's happening with impunity.
The UN Refugee Agency tells us that 4.5 million people have been internally displaced, while 1.2 million others have fled to Chad, Egypt, and South Sudan, as well as Ethiopia and the Central African Republic. That's almost 6 million people who have been forced to move since the fighting started in April of this year. UNHCR describes the unfolding humanitarian crisis as unimaginable across Sudan, adding that they are very concerned that recent fighting in the Darfur region has caused even more displacement, where many do not have access to food, shelter, clean drinking water, and other basic essentials.
Last week, a senior official with the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Refugees visited Upper Nile State, just south of the conflict-riddled capital Khartoum and across the border in South Sudan.
The scenes are dramatic. We're seeing over 3,000 people coming on a daily basis for the past 3 days. I'm a few kilometers away from our transit center. The transit center is overwhelmed. It was built for 3,000 people. It now hosts 20,000. The situation is unbearable. Humanitarians are overwhelmed. We are reaching a point where it is undignified for the people of Sudan to be in this situation. The South Sudanese government has opened their borders, have let the people in. We are grateful to them, but now we need the world's support. We need health, we need shelter, we need food, we need water and sanitation, we need protection.
Reports from the region also point to the targeting of Arab militias and the RSF of the Masalit ethnic group, a majority African tribe in the Darfur region, with unconfirmed reports of men being lined up and executed amid growing concerns of ethnic cleansing, while equally alarming are reports of women and girls being abducted and abused.
Deeply alarmed by reports that women and girls are being abducted and held in inhuman, degrading, slave-like conditions in areas controlled by the Rapid Support Forces in Darfur, where they are allegedly forcibly married and held for ransom. Credible information from survivors, witnesses and other sources suggests more than 20 women and girls have been taken, but the numbers could be higher. Some sources have reported seeing women and girls in chains on pickup trucks and in cars. Initial allegations arose early in the conflict in the Khartoum area, which has remained largely under the control of the Rapid Support Forces.
The regional refugee response plan of $1 billion remains only 39% funded, while a separate appeal of $2.6 billion for the humanitarian needs of 18 million people inside Sudan remains only 1/3 funded. This growing colossus of a humanitarian crisis comes amid renewed peace talks in the Saudi Arabian city of Jeddah that remains focused on a narrow set of objectives between the Sudan Armed Forces and the RSF to facilitate the delivery of humanitarian assistance, establishing local ceasefires and other confidence-building measures towards a broader permanent cessation of hostilities. The co-facilitators, which include IGAD, the AU, the US and Saudi Arabia, expressed regret this week that the parties remain unable to agree terms of a ceasefire, as the military stalemate only exacerbates the desperation of civilians on the ground. Shervin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.